Welcome to Your Next Stop. This is Juliette Hahn. I am a wife, mom, virtual coach, public speaker, and crazy obsessed dog lover. I am so honored to be able to take you into the life of someone that has followed a passion. Every week, I hope you are as inspired as I am. Welcome to Your Next Stop. Welcome to Your Next Stop. I cannot wait to share with you guys the next story of a woman that is following a passion, and what she is doing for cancer patients is just remarkable. So I wanted to welcome Artz. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thank you so much for having me on your pod. I love this.
I'm so excited. When you reached out, I was like, once you started sharing me what you're doing, I was like, the world needs to hear this. So this is amazing. So if you could share your quote first.
So my quote is something that I use for my business, is surround yourself with beauty and kindness. And it's something I came up with when I became a salon owner.
I love that. Okay, so my quote is, the key to being happy is knowing you have the power to choose what to accept and what to let go. And that is, it's on a tiny Buddha site one of the places that I love to go look for quotes. Okay, so Allie, so you are the owner of a salon called Ambiance Salon here in Long Island, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I own Ambiance in Hewlett, New York, yes, on Long Island.
Okay, great. So can you just give us a little bit? So like when you reached out to me, I loved what you said in the beginning. You were like, you know what? I had this passion. I decided this is what I want to do. I went for it. And then tell us what has evolved from you basically going and talking to the salon owner, I guess, that owned the salon before. So if you can give us a little insight, that would be awesome.
You got it. So I've been in the industry now for over 25 years, mostly as a hair colorist, but I also did makeup for television, education, and product testing. 2.5 years ago, I walked up to my boss and asked to buy him out. My salon was not for sale. He was a bit on the older side, so I assumed he might be looking for a way out. And I just basically said, I'm ready for the next step in my career, and can I buy you out? And his answer was yes. I mean, after some negotiations, the answer was yes. So, absolutely no business formal training. My husband said to me, you're absolutely crazy. You don't walk up to people and ask them for their businesses. And I said, well, apparently you do. So I did, and here I am. So,
I love that. So how long were you working at his salon specifically before?
So I had worked for him for 14 years before I bought the business, and really part-time, like 2 to 3 days a week. I have 2 daughters. So, I was always that working mom balancing career and children and carpools and Girl Scouts and all that fun stuff. So.
All that stuff. And so were your girls at an age where you felt like you had a little bit more time that you were able to, or were you just like, no, I just feel this in my gut and I want to go forward? Can you share a little bit about that?
It was kind of a little bit of both. I had been, I actually was in Italy doing this education, and I met my family in Milan, and I had talked to all of these educators and all these salon owners, and I just, I kept saying, how do you get all this time? What do you do? And they're like, we all own salons. So I met my family, and I was like, girls, when we get back to New York, I'm going to buy a salon. I'm going to ask the owner. I'm going to do this. And they were like super excited. I mean, they weren't as excited after I bought it and worked 7 days, but they were super excited in the beginning. And yes, when I bought the salon, my oldest was a senior in high school, and she may not agree. It was the perfect thing for her to kind of mature and be ready to go to college. So,
oh, totally. Because she had to learn some kind of stuff that probably you weren't even thinking about. But now I think that is actually, I love how you said that. It was time for her to also learn kind of to do a little bit more things on her own. So, right. I love that. So, okay. So the owner was like, yes. And were you like, right after he said that, what was the feeling did you feel like first super excited? I want to hear all of that. Or were you like, oh, what did I do?
No, I was super excited, a little concerned and nervous about all the legalities and all of that kind of thing, finances and all of that. I was kind of like, we'll just figure it out. I came home to my husband. I'm like, we will just figure it out. There's got to be a way to do this, and let's do this. So I was really excited, eager. I assume that, someone says yes and it happens tomorrow, because, instant gratification is never quick enough for me. So I was like, come on. And I set these unrealistic targets, but I'm never going to stop because that's what pushes me ahead. So I was like, okay, July 1, I will be a salon owner. Well, it didn't happen until October. And I was like texting my lawyer, my accountant, is it done yet? What else has to be done? What else do I have to do? And they were like, you're annoying and stop this. But, I was like, okay, on this date, everything will be perfect. But, that's who I am and whatever. So that was a long, interesting process and, couldn't tell anyone. I was, still working there. And so, yeah, I was excited and crazy and, unrealistic and all of the above.
But I love that. And you know what I love that you said, because I'm the same way. I like when I have an idea, I want it done now. And like I'm creating an online workshop right now, and I did not realize the amount of work that goes into that. I had everything done, but implementing it in there. And it's so funny as you said that, because I am the same way. I'm like, okay, now, I want it done now. And there's times where that's great, right? For our personality, that is great because we get stuff done. But there are times where it's like, okay, we just have to take a breath. We just need to like let things fall into place, which is really difficult. It's difficult, I feel, for not just, a few people. I think that's probably difficult for a lot of people. I think are a lot of people that, again, with the instant gratification, but not only so much the instant gratification, I think it's really like you have something that you're so excited about, you want to kind of ride that wave. And when things get a little slower, like right now, when I'm in the implementation phase, it's that's the stuff I don't love. But in every kind of following a passion, a dream, whatever it is, there's going to be things that you love and there's going to be things that you don't love. I mean, with anything. And I mean, that's just life, right?
Of course.
And I'm sure you found that when owning a salon, there's things that where you're like, okay, I don't love that. And you can probably outsource some of it. Some of it you have to be hands-on with it because it is your salon.
It's interesting. I'm like very much a control freak. It's really hard for me to delegate, but I feel like, and the stuff that I thought was going to trip me up, like the business end, being now an employer, I have 26 employees, the whole employer component, and I work behind the chair 4 to 5 days a week. I thought those things would kind of trip me up, but it wasn't, that wasn't what tripped me up. Other things that I did not expect tripped me up, and that's, there's some things I love, some things I don't. Overall, I love the whole package, and I'm learning now to delegate and where I don't need to be, and kind of like, and I think this is something where a lot of us are guilty of, is finding value in our own time. Yes, I could do this, but is my time worth that chore? That, especially as a mom, I hate to say just as women, but the reality is I'm a working mom. You're a working mom. There's stuff that falls on your plate, whether you like it or not, but our time does have value. Is it worth me doing it, or should I just ask someone? But a lot of times we don't want to ask because we don't want to hear no. We don't want to see the face.
Right.
And, but I have learned like what time of mine is valuable. Whether even if sometimes it's my day off. Like I used to feel guilty about taking a day off. That's not, there's no more guilt anymore. Like you can't run on empty. So, my time does have value. So I'm learning to delegate. It's a slow process.
Which I love that you said that, because time is so important. Time is so important. And as I became a small business owner, the same, or a virtual business owner, it is so important. And that, I think what you said, you hit the nail on the head there. And I think it's so important for, as you said, moms, women, to really know that, you know what, I don't need to do this. I need to let it go. And sometimes it's hard to let certain things go, but it's really important, because time is money, but time is also time with your loved ones who are also sacrificing as you're kind of fulfilling these dreams. And so it's important to be like, you know what, I do value your time. I want to be with you at the moment. I'm going to delegate that. I think it's important for kids to see also us moms do that. So I love that you said that. So, okay. So you have 26 employees. When you first started, was it 26 right away? Like, did everyone stay? Like, how did that take us through a little bit of that?
Everybody stayed. Definitely people were surprised. Again, I had been working there. I think I was up like 3 days at that point. And, it was kind of like, whoa, how did that happen? Because we really did keep it secret, because we had to, the nature of my industry and the nature of the transaction, it just had to be. So everyone stayed on in the beginning. I think the real changes happened with COVID. I was a new salon owner, and it was funny when you gave me the calendar. A year ago, I believe it was Saturday. I was mandated to shut my doors for 2.5 months, almost 3 months.
Wow.
That was huge for me. And that's when I kind of had to like step it up because failure is not an option. Like there's no way I'm going to my family and saying this failed. I jumped in with 2 feet and, a lot of things unknown, but I did it because of my passion and I know I can truly do this. So that was not even an option. So after the first 2 weeks of realizing that this is not just a 2-week vacation and that I really have to get to work, that's when I had to really learn my business, really know what I bought. I mean, I bought it. I had a lawyer, an accountant, everybody look over everything, but now I'm living it. And now what is it? What's going on here? Someone else had set up all of my accounts, had made all of the decisions for me because I bought his business. Now, though, that didn't work for me anymore. So every day at 6 o'clock in the morning, I got up, I went through everything, my finances, every arrangement that I had, did whatever I needed to apply for support for small businesses. And I learned my business and I learned what did not work. And when I opened my doors, almost everyone came back. 2 of my staff decided to retire at that point. They were not going to continue forward. And one of those people were the former owner. He had signed on to stay on with me for 3 years, and then after COVID, he had decided to not come back. So it was really I try to look at the positive. I mean, it was a horrible situation, scary. Right. There was definitely some dark days, but I really feel that I used it to my advantage, and I don't think I would be as secure in knowing my entire business without that time.
Right. And I was going to say, you could have been like an owner for like, let's say 7 years and not ever having the time to dive into it. So the fact that you got to do it in the beginning, as you said, it was not easy and it was dark and there was times that were really hard. But the fact that it was almost like, it was good for you to be able to dive in and know everything, because now you can move forward and be like, all right, we knew this worked. And I think there's so many people out there, with COVID, learned so much about themselves, their business, even if they worked for a corporation, how things worked, and because it was so unknown to all of us. So I love that you kind of were like, okay, I sat in it. I had some dark days, but then I was like, nope, that's not a choice. I did this. I'm not going to fail, and I'm going to just figure this out. So way to go. Really, I think that's so, remarkable and speaks to who you are.
And the fact is, when you have 22, 25, 26 employees, I look at it this way. I was one of those employees. I relied on my income to, mortgage, children, whatever you're using your income for. That's, I'm responsible for those families, and I take that really seriously. If someone's working for me, their family becomes my responsibility. So there, never mind, I wasn't failing for my family. I wasn't failing for my staff.
Right. But that's, again, that speaks to who you are. So can you tell us a little bit, because the other thing that I loved that you talked about is what you do on Mondays. So can you take us through that and when that started and what it has evolved to?
So about a year ago, it came to be. We joined an organization and became a charter salon for Mondays at Racine. So we open our doors once a month, every third Monday of the month, and provide absolutely free of charge salon and spa services. I was introduced to this program. The women that run it or own it formed it. Sorry, hopefully you can tweak that. I was introduced.
Yeah. So what do you want him to say? Cut out. So start from here. Again. Yeah.
I was introduced to the founders of Mondays at Racine through one of my reps, and they had started this organization in 2014 after they watched the psychological effects that cancer had on their mother. So when I met them, they were women from Long Island. They are out in Suffolk County. They started this program, and I jumped in. My husband's a radiation therapist, so it was a way for me to give back to the cancer community. And the salon I had just bought, I was a stylist there, so I was looking for a way to kind of become that boss, that salon owner, and connect with my team on a very different level. And, I found this program, and we had lost a stylist a few years back to pancreatic cancer. So the salon knew what happens when cancer hits home. So I felt like the program, my team could get behind it. I could give back to the cancer community. There was no one else doing it in Nassau County. It checked the boxes, and we started it and haven't looked back. And it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. But what I never expected in a million years is people calling me up asking to help me. So the Herald wrote an article about me that we were doing it, and after the paper got delivered, I got a phone call from an organization called Rocket and Wrap It Up. Hi, we saw the article. We want to donate free wigs. Can we support you? Well, yes.
Wow.
Hello.
Right.
So they drop off brand new wigs. My staff is able to cut, color, style them, and anyone who needs one, they get it, they go. There's no fee for any of this. The woman that cleans my house, she has a wonderful company. She's an amazing woman. I won't even share her story, but she's beyond someone that, I just is so inspiring. She said to me, let me give you complimentary bed and bath cleanups for your guests. Give away 3 every month. So when they come home not feeling well, their bedroom and their bathroom is clean for them to heal.
Wow.
I have a hypnotherapist that zooms in. I have a massage therapist that I wanted to hire, and his response was, you can't afford me, but I'm going to work your program.
But that's so amazing that people saw it and were like, we want to be a part of it too, because that's so important, because everyone has, I think everyone gets touched by cancer in some way, whether it's Absolutely. A family member or a friend, whatever it is. And so the fact that you guys can do that for people is just, it's remarkable. And so the salon, I'm assuming, because I know typically salons are closed on Monday, so it's kind of a perfect thing where you guys can open your doors still and have these families or these individuals come and just kind of forget and I'm assuming forget what they're going through and just feel okay for one moment, even if it's for 10 minutes where they're not feeling sick because they're getting a massage or something like that. So that is amazing. That is amazing. Can you let everyone know, because there's going to be people listening that are like, wait, I want to help too. I want to do something there
awesome.
As well.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So how can people get in touch with you?
Okay, so first of all, our salon actually is open 7 days a week, but we just have a very small staff on Mondays just for accommodation. So we're a fairly big space. We're 2 floors, so we're able to section them out, and it's not an issue. So usually our Mondays guests stay on one side just so that they're around one another and they can have that supportive environment. And it can be a little overwhelming if you're walking into a hair salon without hair or your skin is irritated. We definitely have private spaces that can be utilized, so that's not a problem. But if anyone wants to help, certainly there's so many things you can do. You can certainly donate right to Mondays at Racine if you wanted to do that. You can find them on mondaysatracine.org.
Can you spell that?
They do
spell
Mondays,
Racine.
RACINE.org. So that is something that you can do. If you're a hairdresser or beauty professional and want to volunteer your time, we are Ambiance in Hewlett, 295-4011. Ask to speak to Allie. And as long as everyone can be professional, I would love to have you on and help us work that day. I often bring in people that work elsewhere that want to be there to support the program. And that's amazing. I mean, a friend of mine who lives in my community said, I'll run your desk. Somebody else said, I'll come and fold towels. I've had businesses bring in lunch. I have people doing chair yoga. Like, I'm open to anything and everything. We have boutiques that have done swag bags when we reopened after COVID. So I try to keep it interesting, keep it fun. It has come to be like, what is she thinking of now? Like, what's next? What now can she bring in?
I love that. I love that.
So if you have a special thing that you do that you want to come in and share, even if it's, we usually see between 10 and 15 people on a Mondays program, even if it's for 2 people, if it's for 3 people, I'm not an all or nothing kind of person. There's no reason to be, a little bit goes a very long way. So
I love that. So give your telephone number again, but put the area code, because people that are listening
Certainly.
that are not in Long Island are going to be like, wait, what area code? What area code?
Sorry. So it's Ambiance Salon in Hewlett, 516-295-4011.
And this will also be in the show notes, because people can also find you you have your Instagram, correct?
Instagram is at the Ambiance Salon, where our website is the Ambiance Salon. and we're on Facebook.
Great. So people can find you there. Well, Allie, oh my gosh, I just have to say thank you so much for Allie listened to one of the episodes and was like, you know what? I feel like I have a story I want to share because I'm doing that. And I want people to feel, I mean, you basically were like, I know I want to be a business owner. How can I make this happen? And you made it happen. And that's the thing that I want women to hear. Because you have an idea, don't just sit on it. Put it into action. And if you can formulate it in your brain, you can make it happen. Sometimes there's steps that you have to make it happen. As you said with with owning the salon, you were like, okay, I didn't realize all of that. Exactly. I'm the same way. Starting this virtual workshop, I didn't realize some of the stuff, but I'm learning. And the thing that's so fun is it's keeping me excited. And that's what my biggest thing is, being bored. And like just the mundane, yeah. I don't like that. So I love coming up and creating things and listening to women every day. I'm basically recording every day, listening to you guys, what you do. And I get fired up. I'm like, yes, I love this. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, who can I put you in contact with? Because I am a networker. I love putting people together and just, relationships are my thing. So I have a question for you. So now if you noticed, this is called now Your Next Stop. We have rebranded because that makes more sense to what I'm doing now. This is it's not Next Stop Crazytown anymore, which it is still dear to my heart. But that's what I want to ask you. What does Crazytown mean to you?
I feel like it's a word that I've even used in my house. Like, I like that frenetic energy, like of something going on all the time. I really never loved being a stay-at-home mom just because I couldn't really do it really well. Like, I'd be bored or this. So I always found like projects and chores and things to do and dragged my kids everywhere. So it's like in our house, like, welcome to Crazytown. Who's going here? Who's going there? Who's got the cleats? Who's got the ball? Who's riding a horse today? Like, where are we going? So it's like my life is crazy. So but I have learned that, and I read all this stuff about putting things in the universe, and I love all that stuff. But
me too.
I really feel like all the little crazy things about me, or as my friends say, you're an onion. We keep finding out new stuff. Like, it was meant to happen because I juggle a lot of plates and I wouldn't have it any other way. But like, I need all those weird little skill sets to do it all.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. So exactly what you said.
My life is Crazytown. What does that mean to me? My life is Crazytown. And I love the next stop because, you know what? There's so many ways to build on. Like, for me, I'll just hijack you again. For me, like, a salon can be so much more than getting your hair done. So we're actually doing a networking event, and maybe you'll join us for an afternoon to be. And it's mostly for women to connect women with women-owned businesses. And it's an afternoon to be educated, insured, financially educated, fit, beautiful. And we have all these presenters coming in, offering services and educating other women. So, I would love to send you that information and join us. So yes, where is your next stop? And I think that's a question we all have to ask ourselves so we don't get stuck.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Being stuck is like to me, that's one of the worst things, being stuck. I can't imagine. I am not the type of person that gets stuck. If I ever feel like, oh, I'm getting stuck, I create something because that's just who I am. So that's what I want this series to do. That's what I want my workshop to do, is help women create things and not get stuck. So yes, definitely send me all that information. I love that. So Crazytown to me is exactly what you said. It's my energy, my family's energy, my extended family, my immediate family, my animals, my husband, my kids, me. It's just the energy of life. It's very endearing to me. So I love it. But Your Next Stop really speaks to this series now, because that is what I'm talking to. I'm helping people hear about what is out there, because there's going to be someone that's like, wait, I love that she's doing that. Maybe I can do that. Maybe they're in, a different state and they can be like, I can do that for them. So I just love, I'm so glad that you reached out. I love being in touch, and definitely keep me in mind for that, the workshop that you're doing, because I would be happy to come, because I'm not that far away.
Wonderful. Oh, I'm excited.
Yes. Thank you so much, Allie.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
I hope you liked this episode of Your Next Stop. Please subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, and join in each week.